It's common now for people to constantly be checking things about their health, maybe their daily steps, maybe they've got an Apple Watch and they check their heart rate. Well, what if you could do the same thing for your English? Not some big test that you take once every 2 years, but consistent checking so that you know where you are, what your level is. This is the idea that I had, and I've been vibe coding an evaluation tool. I've been using Google AI Studio. You could use Claude Code, whatever. The important thing is to know how the pieces fit together and what things are important so that it's actually useful and accurate. So I'll quickly go through an evaluation. I'll show you little pieces of it. I'm not going to show you the whole thing, so you don't have to watch the whole thing. And then, the important thing, the breakdown, the report at the end. When we get to that part, I'll show you what the pieces are so that you can then build something like this yourself and test your English whenever you want with your own custom AI-built English evaluation tool. All right, so let's do it. Now, one thing I do need to still work on is the variety of questions. They are generated, but the way I'm doing it now, it is not broad enough. There aren't enough types of questions, so it's a little repetitive. And I'm not crazy about it. So I'm working on that. That way you never see the same question twice. So it's a real test. I very enjoy reading. I try to reading at least 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes every day. Often I do my reading in the evening when I'm sitting relaxed on my chair. I enjoy learning, and it is a nice way to find new idea. When you're kind of designing it, it's better to do a minimum word count than a minimum time. Because if you say you have to talk for at least 30 seconds, well, you can speak very slowly and not say that many words. If you have a minimum of maybe 50 words, you're more likely to get an accurate evaluation. Could you explain the city or town where you live and explain what you like most about living there? I live in a small town in the countryside near the river. Although I don't go into the river very much, I like living in a quiet place, a peaceful neighborhood with a lot of beautiful nature and sceneries. In your opinion, do you believe that social media has improved the way people communicate with one another, or has it made personal relationships more difficult? I've seen this question several times, so there's too much repetition happening. The structure it's too rigid. I need to figure out a better way to do prompts. To be honest, I haven't spent much time on that part. I've been focused on the evaluation. In my opinion, social media don't help the way we communication with each other because it is very superficial, because we may like or comment under post or maybe share something with each other. I think before we communication more deeply, and today it is very superficial. Many people believe that university education is essential for a successful career, while others think that practical work experience is more important. What is your opinion on this? While there is a lot of value in what you can learning in the academic education university learning system, because there are many people who is well known who don't graduation from a university and who drop out and be successful. And many career nowadays is not related to academics and is more blue collars. So people can maybe becoming an electrician, which don't require the university degree. Although I think university can also be valuable as education. Okay, writing section, 2 questions. Some people prefer to shop for items like clothes and electronics in physical stores, while others prefer to do all their shopping online. Which do you think is better and why? Okay, submit. Some people believe that regular exercise is the most important factor for maintaining a healthy lifestyle, while others think that a balanced diet is more significant. All right, so let's submit this. We're going for about a B2. Analyzing. Oh, okay, B1. I was going for B2. I guess I did a little worse than I thought. Fair enough. Let's see why. So let me just explain this first part. I have 2 scores here, B1 and out of 100. I find the out of 100 is a little bit more specific. It's more accurate, right? If you don't know, this is from the CEFR. This is basically a level system for fluency in a language. And it goes from A1 at the lowest. That's basically you can't speak it at all. Almost, you're a beginner, to C2, which is the highest, which is basically fluent. So A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. It's not as accurate as a score out of 100, so I think it's good to have both. So what have we done so far before we get into the report? Well, we create a series of steps, and the steps are questions. As I've said, I wish my questions were a little more interesting. I'm working on that, but you want to do both speaking and writing questions. If you're just evaluating writing, that's not enough. You also want to be checking speaking. You want to make sure you're getting enough content so that you can get an accurate evaluation. Now, ideally, you also want to be analyzing pronunciation because that's an important part of overall fluency. So you need to actually analyze the audio too, not just the transcript. High-level overview, this is useful but not the most important thing. Solid B1 learner, you can communicate your ideas effectively, but your frequent grammatical mistakes make your speech and writing feel less professional. Oh no. If you focus on fixing your systematic errors in comparatives and verb forms, you will quickly move toward a B2 level. So it's I guess the takeaway here is it's not that maybe I can't use English, it's that I make too many mistakes. That's a clear takeaway. Oh, I need to fix all my mistakes. I make too many mistakes. I'm talking about the right things. I'm addressing the topic. I'm talking about the right topic. I understand what's going on. That's not too bad, right? Pronunciation, grammar, vocabulary, they're on the low side compared to my content score. My strengths, you're able to express clear opinions on a variety of topics. Okay, so that's the content thing. You use some higher level vocabulary like superficial, orchard, and blue collar. And I did intentionally choose those words as more advanced. Your responses are relevant and you stay on topic throughout. Okay, areas to improve, correct your use of comparative adjectives, avoid more better. You must improve your subject-verb agreement. Social media doesn't instead of don't. Right. You should practice using the ing form after prepositions. For example, without leaving. Yeah, okay. But it's still not specific enough. So now we get into the pieces. In addition to creating the steps of the evaluation and generating questions, having the input of both speech, right, audio, and text writing. In addition to that, you also need a rubric with descriptors. Now, you can just find the CEFR descriptors. So it's a description of each level. What does each level mean? You can add that as you're creating the evaluation. Basically, here are the rules. When you get the input from the student, compare their input against these rules, these standards. So you're saying, this is what a C2 is. This is what a C2 means, description. On these criteria, vocabulary and lexical resource, that is how well you use the language you know. Grammar and accuracy, that means how accurate your grammar is, right? Content and task achievement, staying on topic, right? So these are the main categories, and then you have the descriptions for each level. And that's important because then once you have the specifics, you can learn a little bit about what you need to focus on. And you need to have examples in the evaluation. So under basis for score, and this is the very first thing because we want to know why it is what it is. Don't give me the good news, give me the bad news, right? Tell me why. We lost 58 points out of 100. Why? Systematic errors. 20 points for incorrect comparative forms, 20 points for verb pattern errors, and 18 points for subject-verb agreement and pluralization issues. Yikes. For like what? For example, for example, online shopping is more better than go to physical stores. I very enjoyed reading. Many peoples who do a lot of exercise. How to improve? You must review the rules for comparative adjectives. Okay, so a suggestion for this specific category. Now, you could go deeper here, and I'm thinking about whether I want to. You could say, not 3 examples, but give me the entire list of examples, right? So instead of just several examples, I want every single mistake. Now, I'm not sure if I want that level of detail in an evaluation like this. I don't think so, but you could. And you could say, here's the audio. Listen back to it. And here are all the mistakes. you could make it very, very detailed, very, very specific. And you do that for all the categories. Now, for pronunciation, this is my current work in progress. This is currently just based on the transcript. I'm currently working on this, and I think what I want to do here is combine a version of the pronunciation evaluation tool that I built before. I did that in another video. Feel free to check that out. Many people have made copies of it or done similar things. I want to combine that with this. So this is just a placeholder. Nothing here is, you wouldn't want to take any of this seriously. But with this, you generate a challenge and read it, and you get a deep evaluation. It shows you the entire transcript, every word that you said. You can click on each word, a full breakdown of your pronunciation. You get an audio from a coach with an analysis of your pronunciation. You get a score and a breakdown of just your pronunciation, specific issues. You get to hear your original audio, so you get the whole thing. So you got the full report and a pronunciation report, a deep analysis of your pronunciation based on the audio and an analysis of the audio. Then it becomes a really accurate way to say, okay, this is where I am right now. And that's kind of the whole point. The whole idea is to build something that is like wearing an Apple Watch. You know, the Apple Watch tells you how many steps, heart rate for the day, blood oxygen level, all the things you want to know about your health, sleep. That probably means, well, for some people, less visits to the doctor, right? Because you have that data daily. The idea would be, don't take some giant test, right? Evaluate your English regularly in a custom way, a way that you define and decide. And I think that's what's cool about this. You're creating your own way to check the things that are important to you. So I'm not saying, hey, do exactly this. I'm just kind of giving you a sense for what I think is possible. And I'm kind of halfway through this project. But I think this is pretty cool. I'm sure there are ways to improve on this. I'm still working to improve on it. As I said, I'm going to fold the pronunciation part in to combine them, and I'm going to see where it takes me. I just think it's fun to do. So try it out for yourself. I'm doing this in Google AI Studio, but do it wherever you like. Vibe code it wherever you like. The important thing is to know what the important pieces are, what matters and what doesn't matter. You don't want to just be asking the AI based on nothing to evaluate anyone's English, including your own, because it could be all over the place. You need to evaluate it against a clear standard. This is a simple way to do it using the CEFR. That's not the only way you could do it. There are definitely other ways that you could do it. This is a simple way to do it. And in my testing, it is accurate. It can give you a pretty good picture. So that's it. If you have other ideas that I should try, let me know in the comments. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Check out the 90-day program, the best way to improve your English in 90 days. Thanks for watching, and I'll